I want to talk about four powerful things that happen on the journey, four powerful activations that are happening, and why they're happening, but also how do you start? Because once you learn how to regulate these powerful activations, because first of all, these four areas will completely deregulate your nervous system. And you've got a choice. You can stay in a deregulated state, searching outside of yourself in endless loop, in endless pain, or you can really acknowledge each of the areas, each of the four areas, and start to bring them into regulation, start to really bring it into a peaceful equilibrium state. Remember, you and your divine counterpart are one energetic system. As you regulate, it regulates them. And so it's about bringing it into a regulated frequency, calming down the nervous system. As the nervous system calms down, it actually calms the whole frequency. Because remember, at soul recognition, it then activates that third energetic field. This is where both of you dance up into. This is where the soul is in that wholeness, oneness frequency. But once that soul recognition happens, it throws you into a chaotic energy. It throws you into a very deregulated energy. This is why you will feel exhausted, not just in the body, you'll feel exhausted in the body, but the mind, emotionally, physically, every part of your bodies. And I say bodies because the mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual will feel exhausted. When you and your divine counterpart are coming in once soul recognition has happened in those early moments, even if you're just before the separation, it will make you feel jittery. It will make you feel like shaky and on edge. As you are trying to work it out, you go from this bubble love phase of feeling this at home feeling, feel so connected, so oneness that you don't need very little sleep and you feel electric, you feel alive, to then suddenly, once the energy is built to a certain point, the energy, instead of it magnetizing, it is now repelling, and it is repelling in a really strong way. So it will feel very exhausting. This is because the core wounds are now activated. So once the soul recognition is one is soul recognition, the next is the core wounds. Once the core wounds are activated, and you're sat in those core wounds of feeling abandoned, feeling betrayed, the need for validation, wherever you're searching for psychics, mediums, relationship coaches, any forums, anything to give you validation of that this journey is real, you are activating those core wounds, and it will deregulate all your nervous system. It'll keep you in that chaotic energy. The 1st of October, which is today that I'm making this live video for you, we have just started our 30-day detox. It starts today. And 30-day detox is about getting rid of all that chaotic energy, the endless searchings, the chaotic, toxic energy, and coming into a balanced state. Because once the nervous system regulates, it stops pushing. As it stops pushing, the divine masculine stops running, and you can come into that equilibrium, balanced state. Because in that energy, that's when you, as the divine feminine, are coming into that beautiful inner union frequency. And that's when the journey changes. The next one that gets activated is the throat chakra. The throat chakra, trying to speak your truth, even trying to speak words, once it is activated, it will be hard to speak your words. It will be hard to stand in your truth. This is because all the lower vibration is moving out. Once it moves out, then your throat chakra is all the way open. And you feel it at soul level that you need to share your truth. You need to align with your soul and your soul work, your soul purpose work. Another area, so we've talked about the wounds, we've talked about the throat, we've talked about the third energetic field at soul recognition. The next area is that heart chakra. Once that heart chakra gets activated, it can feel like butterflies, it can feel like pounding. You just want to shower that love and put that love way before your love for self, to the divine masculine. This is about regulating, this is about bringing all that unconditional love, that heart chakra now that is activated, bringing it back to self. This is very hard normally for the divine feminine, because the divine feminine is all about helping others, putting everybody before themselves. On this journey, you have to fill your cup up first in order to be in service, in order to help others. And divine masculine, they will show you this in the deepest way. They will mirror and reflect back all those places that you have been, you know, putting it outside of yourself. They will reflect it back with the brightest light. So you cannot dishonor self. You have to bring it back to self. These four areas are about regulating. Once you start to regulate these areas, then you start to shift into inner union. When you start to shift into inner union, it changes the whole frequency of the journey. Divine masculine will start to slowly come back in then. If you want to really work on your journey, not from a place of toxic energy, not from a place of chase, 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 but from a place of empowerment, from a place of let's detox, let's come into a surrender state, let's come into a balanced state, let's really come into that inner union frequency so you can magnetize divine masculine back in on a soul frequency. Remember, the soul does the work on the journey, not the mind and ego. If you need more help and support, my website is there. My website is there with all information of how to shift on this journey from a place of sovereignty, from a place of empowerment, not from a place of lack and chasing. That's not this journey. If you need more help and support, my website is the 3Ws catsacredsoul.com. I send you so much love. Have a blessed day.